Hello everyone, this is Kaybie and welcome to my first cooking video. So today is Shrove Tuesday. It's also known here as Pancake Day. For those of you who don't know what this is, Pancake Day is something that falls before Ash Wednesday, which is also known as Lent. Shrove Tuesday is the last day before you give up something you really enjoy for 40 days. So obviously today is the last day to sort of enjoy something fatty and yummy and disgusting, ready for that 40 days of just boring. Typically this is a day that uses rich foods up, which, you know, like eggs, milk, sugar, so that's why pancakes are used and cooked today. For those of us who survive on a gluten-free diet, this can be a pretty miserable day. I've spent the last couple of years trying to make a good gluten-free alternative, but most of the time it doesn't really work. It's quite a tricky thing to get right each time you cook it. I've had some that are quite chewy, sometimes they just disintegrate, and actually most of the time they just taste kind of a bit weird. Apart from this recipe, I've used it quite a few times with different variations, and the pancakes always taste delicious and the consistency is always perfect. So here is what I'm using today. 1 medium sweet potato, 200 grams of plain gluten-free flour mix, 200 ml of milk, and 2 tablespoons of honey. So the sweet potato has been chopped up and boiled for about 10 minutes. This is just to make it nice and soft so it doesn't obviously leave any lumps. You can also microwave this. I have microwaved the sweet potato before. Again, you literally just put it into some water in the microwave for about 3 or 4 minutes. As long as the sweet potato is nice and soft, you can do this however you like. So the flour is actually recommended to just be rice flour, but this sort of plain gluten-free flour blend is perfect because it's mainly rice flour anyway. They say that rice flour tends to have a sweeter taste, which is why it's slightly better. I guess you wouldn't use potato flour on its own because you've got the sweet potato. I think if you weren't going to go gluten-free, you could easily use proper wheat flour with this. I would probably just sieve it in to make sure it's not going to be lumpy or anything. Oh, I'm making a mess trying to get this into my food processor. So the original recipe for this actually uses a vegan-based recipe, which means you use something like coconut oil or coconut butter and other, you know, milk-free milks, I guess. Milk-free milks. This is just normal semi-skimmed milk that I'm using today. I have used almond milk before and I've used vegan butter before, and it does taste exactly the same. I did check by asking Jake, and he said that he couldn't tell the difference, so that's good. So I believe that the honey is used to obviously add a little bit of stickiness to it, whilst also adding a bit of sweetness. I have used maple syrup and chia seeds before to do the same thing. Again, it works really well. I have used golden syrup to do this too, and again that does work, but I think I would only recommend using 1 tablespoon just because it's very sticky. So 1 tablespoon is definitely enough. So just for the record, I would count this as a tablespoon, this big spoon that I'm using here. I know that some people might disagree, but this is just something that my mum has always used as a tablespoon. Just to give you a comparison, this is like a dessert spoon, so actually it's much deeper and bigger, but that is what I would use. I guess if you were using a dessert spoon, I'd maybe just go for a tiny bit more, if you know, do 2 dessert spoons and a bit. Okay, so I've got this all in my food processor. Let's give it a little whiz up. So it shouldn't really take too long in the food processor. It's just enough to kind of make it nice and smooth and lump free, make sure everything's mixed. So I'm just going to get a little butter into my frying pan and we will go over there. when you put the mixture into the pan, use a tablespoon or a large serving spoon. This is going to make just these small pancakes, so you need the spoon to kind of spread the mixture out. Give it time on each side. These do take a little bit longer than usual. Just check them occasionally to make sure they're not burning. I use about a medium to low heat. Delicious! The mixture will make about 12 to 15 pancakes depending on your spoon size or your portion size. We like to serve them up using some applesauce and some maple syrup. So I make the applesauce myself. I just use a few apples, they're cored and chopped up, and I just add some water and some maple syrup into a pan. Boil them for about 30 to 40 minutes. Just make sure they're really soft and really squishy, and then they taste beautiful. And there you have it. So I recommend that anyone tries this, whether you are gluten-free or not. So I actually got this recipe from this book, which is called Deliciously Ella. Obviously she has like a food blog and she has apps and things like that as well. But I really love that book, so I really recommend that you go and get it if you want to try any recipes like this. Anyone who's gluten-free and like me just struggles to try and bake things myself, but obviously anyone who just wants to try going a different way with any of their food anyway. Give me a comment down below if you've tried to make this yourself and let me know what you think. We haven't quite progressed in the internet world where we can do like taste division or anything, but obviously Jake and I are going to enjoy this now, so it's up to you, I guess. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye!